Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're diving into a juicy one today, the 20th anniversary of the Desperate Housewives pilot.
Oh, Desperate Housewives, a classic. I see you've brought an article about it, too.
I have. And it's not just reminiscing about the show, it actually claims that this pilot episode, this one episode, changed television history.
Wow, changed television history. That's a bold statement.
It is, and now I'm really curious. So I remember loving the show, but how could one episode have that much of an impact?
Well, if you think back to 2004, the TV landscape was very different. Reality TV was huge. Crime dramas were all the rage.
Right, like gritty, dark stuff was really popular.
Exactly. And flyover stories, stories about regular people in the suburbs, they weren't exactly must-see TV.
Yeah, definitely not edgy enough.
And then Desperate Housewives comes along and proves that those manicured lawns and perfect facades, they could hide a whole lot of drama.
It's true. It's like they took this image of idyllic suburban life and totally flipped it on its head.
Precisely. And they did it masterfully right from that very first scene, remember? Mary Alice's suicide.
Oh, yeah.
Juxtaposed with this cheerful voiceover and those images of, like, apple pie perfection.
Such a shocking opening.
It was shocking. And, you know, that jarring contrast, it wasn't just novel for the time. It tapped into this cultural anxiety about hidden lives, about the things that we don't talk about, even in our seemingly safe little neighborhoods.
Oh, absolutely. Like, I remember watching it for the first time and being completely caught off guard. It was outrageous. Like, wait, did she just steal a blender before she. But I was hooked. I couldn't look away.
And that's the brilliance of the pilot. They established that blend of dark humor and suspense right away. It's a tone that really became their signature.
Yeah, you're right.
But beyond that, it also introduces us to these incredibly well-defined characters in such a short amount of time.
Right. We meet all the main housewives right away.
We've got Susan, Gabrielle, Lynette, Bree, each with their own distinct personality, their own secrets, their own quiet desperation.
Yes. And we get it immediately. Like Bree trying to hold it all together, baking muffins one minute, policing her family's every move the next. We instantly get a sense of her strengths, her flaws.
Her need for control.
Oh, absolutely. Her hilarious need for control.
And that's a hallmark of a great pilot, right? Introducing characters that the audience will want to follow, that they'll become invested in. And the writers, they didn't waste a single scene. Even Mrs. Huber, the nosy neighbor, is more than just comedic relief. She embodies that gossipy, judgmental undercurrent that, we all know exists in these seemingly perfect communities.
It's so true. They really nailed that balance of humor and insight into the darker side of suburban life. But okay, so the pilot was well-written, addictive. But how did it actually change the television landscape? That's a big claim. So it's like Desperate Housewives made it okay for other shows to explore those themes, those settings, to find the extraordinary in the ordinary, like you were saying.
Yeah. Exactly. And it wasn't just about, like, suburbia, right? Think about the themes they were tackling. Marriage, infidelity, the struggles of parenting, financial pressures, aging, identity crises.
It really covered it all.
It did. These are universal human experiences, relevant in any decade, any zip code.
It's funny because on the surface, Desperate Housewives, it seemed like, a soapy primetime drama. But looking back, it was actually pretty groundbreaking, in its willingness to address these issues head on.
Absolutely. And they did it with this balance of humor and real pathos.
It really got real sometimes.
It did. Like, one minute you're laughing, the next you're totally engrossed in a character's emotional struggles. That's a tough balance to strike. And it's part of what makes the show so enduring.
It really stayed with you.
It did. It definitely wasn't afraid to go to some dark places, but it never felt heavy-handed or preachy.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It had that light touch. And the article actually, it calls that out, the show's ability to sustain those qualities for so long, 8 seasons.
It's a lot.
It is. 180 episodes. And they kept that balance, that humor, that depth. Think about how rare that is, especially today.
Yeah, most shows don't last that long anymore.
Exactly. They have much shorter runs.
It's true. Do you think that's maybe why people still love Desperate Housewives? Because it had the time to really flesh things out, like to fully develop the characters, the storylines.
I think that's definitely a factor. With these shorter seasons, there's just so much pressure to deliver immediate gratification, to wrap things up quickly. But Desperate Housewives, it took its time. Let those storylines unfold organically. Let those characters, breathe.
Yeah, to become real people.
Exactly. We really got to know them, flaws and all.
Totally. And we saw them change. They grew so much over the course of the show.
Right.
which is something you don't always get in television.
Right, right.
But, the article, it actually goes beyond just the themes and the characters. It connects Desperate Housewives to this whole wave of shows that came after it.
It does, yeah. It even names some.
Right. Shows like Real Housewives, Pretty Little Liars, Big Little Lies, even some of Nicole Kidman's more recent work.
It's true. They all, in their own ways, tap into those themes, right? Secrets, lies, that sort of underbelly of seemingly perfect lives.
Like Desperate Housewives created a whole new genre, almost.
Mhm.
But what is it about this particular formula, these themes? Why do you think they continue to resonate with audiences even now? It makes you wonder, right, are we all just a little obsessed with peeking behind the curtain? Especially when it comes to those picture-perfect lives.
I think it speaks to this universal fascination, with the gap between appearances and reality. We love those stories that expose the truth, the messy truth, behind the facades that people put up, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. It's like everyone has secrets. And maybe there's a bit of comfort in that too. Like knowing that even those perfect families, those families that seem perfect, they have their own dramas and dysfunctions. Makes our own lives feel a little less,
Oh, absolutely. A little less chaotic.
Right.
Less unusual. Yeah, there's a sense of relatability, even if their problems are a bit more dramatic than ours, But I think it's also how Desperate Housewives use humor, right? To kind of explore those darker parts of human nature.
You're right. It wasn't just about the secrets or the lies, but how it was all kind of mixed with these moments of absurdity, dark comedy even. I mean, like, remember when Bree's son catches her burning her husband's things in the backyard?
Yeah.
So outrageous, but also kind of sad.
It was. In the article, it actually touches on that, how the show could make us laugh and think all at the same time. Like, even in the midst of, really serious stuff, there's still room for humor, for finding the absurdity.
Yeah, which is, I mean, that's life, right? It's not all serious or all funny. It's just this messy mix.
Exactly. A messy mix. And Desperate Housewives got that. It understood that, people were complex.
It didn't shy away from that.
Not at all. And it kept us entertained.
It really did. So it seems like that one pilot episode, it really did start something special. Changed how we see those seemingly ordinary lives, the ones happening all around us every day.
It definitely made its mark. It reminds us that even in the most familiar places, those everyday lives, there are these incredible stories just waiting to be told.
Something to think about, right? The next time you're, walking down your own street. Maybe give your neighbors a second glance. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.